My family kicked me out at 18, calling me a lazy loser who'd never succeed. 10 years later, I bought their failing company, and now I'm firing every single one of them personally. I grew up in a family of business people. My parents owned a mid-sized furniture company, and since I was a kid, I heard that one day it would all belong to my older brother. I, on the other hand, was the lazy one, the one who lacked ambition. In school, I wasn't exactly the best student. I struggled with math and spent most of my time drawing in class. My parents constantly told me I'd never amount to anything if I kept that up. My older brother, however, was the golden child, straight A's, class monitor, and already helping with the family business by the time he was 16. At 17, I discovered my passion for design. I'd spend hours sketching unique furniture, trying to create something different. One day, I showed my drawings to my dad and suggested we could launch a new line at the company. He laughed in my face and told me to stop dreaming and start doing some real work. On my 18th birthday, instead of a party, I got an ultimatum: either start working in the company as a regular employee, cleaning the factory floors, or move out. I said I wanted to study design in college. My dad responded that he wouldn't pay for a worthless degree. That night, they held a family meeting. My uncles, cousins, everyone was there. My dad announced that I was a disappointment and that he was kicking me out to teach me how to be a man. No one objected. Not even my mom. I left with nothing but a backpack of clothes and the $200 I had saved up. For the first few weeks, I slept on friends' couches and did odd jobs to get by. Eventually, I got a job at a small woodworking shop. The owner, Mr. Roberto, saw my sketches and, unlike my family, was impressed. Not only did he give me a chance, but he also taught me everything about woodworking. In my free time, he let me use the shop to create my own designs. After a year, he even helped me get a scholarship to study design. During college, I worked 3 jobs to support myself. In my spare time, I kept designing and perfecting my craft. In my final year, one of my projects won an International Furniture Design Award. After graduation, I used the prize as leverage to attract investors. I started my own furniture brand, focusing on unique and sustainable pieces. Within 5 years, my company became one of the largest in the industry. During all this time, I had no contact with my family. Through acquaintances, I heard that their company was struggling. My brother, the prodigy, had taken over from my dad but couldn't keep up with the changing market. They were still making the same outdated furniture designs from 20 years ago. 2 weeks ago, I got a call from the bank. My family's company was up for sale due to massive debt. I didn't hesitate. Through a shell company, I bought it outright. Yesterday, I walked into the office that used to belong to my dad. My brother was there, along with my parents. They had no idea I was the buyer. When they saw me, they turned pale. All employees will be individually evaluated by the new owner, I said. Starting now. I called my brother in first. I laid out all the management mistakes he'd made over the past few years. I fired him on the spot. Then it was my dad's turn. He tried to argue that he had 30 years of experience. I pointed out that in 30 years, he hadn't created anything new, innovated, or adapted. He's out too. As for the rest of the family, uncles, cousins, they'll all be personally fired by me in the coming days. Not out of revenge, but because they're incompetent. The company needs fresh blood. My mom cried, saying I couldn't do this to the family. I told her family is the people who stood by me when I was sleeping on park benches, not the ones who kicked me out of the house. The only person I'm keeping is the janitor, Jose. He was the only one who helped me when I first left, secretly giving me food in those early days. The company will be completely revamped. The building where I grew up hearing I was a loser will now produce my award-winning designs. And that family meeting where they humiliated me? I'm hosting another one. This time, to announce that I bought the company and that they're all fired. Maybe I'm being cruel, but I learned from the best. Edit 1. A lot of people are asking about Mr. Roberto from the woodworking shop. He retired last year, but now he's a special consultant for my company. And yes, he'll be at the family meeting to witness everything.